Breaking news is coming in from Gaza, and it is nothing short of explosive. Reports confirm that an Israeli Defense Forces helicopter has been destroyed inside Gaza in a sudden and shocking incident that has sent ripples through the entire region. The footage and eyewitness accounts pouring in reveal a plume of fire and black smoke rising into the sky as the downed helicopter crashed into the ground, leaving Israel stunned and Gaza electrified. For the first time in this conflict, a significant IDF aerial asset has been shot down in such a direct and dramatic fashion, and the political, military, and psychological consequences of this are reverberating at lightning speed across the Middle East and beyond. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Please subscribe and like my videos. The destruction of this IDF helicopter in Gaza is not just another military incident. It marks a turning point in the ongoing war between Israel and Palestinian factions, one that analysts are already calling a potential breaking point. According to preliminary intelligence reports, the helicopter was engaged in a mission deep inside the Gaza Strip, believed to be supporting ground forces operating in one of the most contested neighborhoods near Khan Younis. The mission was routine by IDF standards, air support and evacuation capability, but the attack that brought it down was anything but routine. Sources indicate the helicopter was targeted by a highly advanced anti-aircraft system, possibly smuggled into Gaza months ago and kept hidden until the perfect opportunity presented itself. The strike was precise. A missile locked onto the helicopter, exploding in midair and causing the aircraft to spiral uncontrollably before crashing. The crew is believed to have been killed instantly, though Israel has not released official casualty numbers yet. The significance of this cannot be overstated. For years, Israel has operated under the assumption that its helicopters, especially those flying at lower altitudes, were relatively safe from the kinds of weapons Hamas and Islamic Jihad were known to possess. This attack shatters that assumption, suggesting that Gaza's militant groups now possess the kind of anti-air systems that can challenge Israel's once unquestioned aerial dominance. As the news broke, panic spread within Israel's security establishment. The IDF immediately sealed off the area, launched counterstrikes on suspected launch sites, and scrambled intelligence units to figure out how such a weapon entered Gaza in the first place. Theories are already swirling. Some believe the weapon was provided by Iran, smuggled through tunnels from Sinai, or even shipped in parts through maritime routes and reassembled inside Gaza. Others suggest Hezbollah may have played a hand in coordinating the transfer of technology, using its own battle-hardened expertise from Syria to arm Palestinian groups. Whatever the origin, the implications are dire. Israel has always prided itself on its air superiority. Fighter jets, drones, and helicopters are central to its strategy, both for defending its borders and for projecting power deep into enemy territory. The downing of this helicopter doesn't just represent a tactical loss, it represents a symbolic blow to the heart of Israel's military doctrine. It sends a message that no aircraft, not even Israel's, is untouchable. On the ground in Gaza, the atmosphere shifted immediately. Crowds gathered near the crash site, cheering as they filmed the smoldering wreckage with their phones. Militant factions wasted no time in claiming responsibility, boasting that they had struck a deadly blow to the occupation. In their statements, they framed the incident as not just a victory, but as the beginning of a new chapter in the resistance. If one helicopter can be destroyed, they argue, then more can follow. This narrative is already spreading across social media, fueling morale and bolstering the perception that the balance of power may be shifting, however slightly, in Gaza's favor. For Israel, the domestic fallout is immense. Families of soldiers are demanding answers, opposition leaders are calling for accountability, and military analysts are warning that this event could embolden Israel's enemies across the region. Imagine the ripple effect. Hezbollah in Lebanon, already armed with far more sophisticated missile systems, may see this as an opportunity to escalate its own confrontations. Iran, long accused of being the mastermind behind arming Palestinian factions, will likely frame this as proof that its strategy of resistance is working. Meanwhile, Israel's closest allies, including the United States, are watching nervously, worried that one incident could trigger a chain reaction across the Middle East. In Tel Aviv, government officials scrambled to project calm. The Prime Minister addressed the nation, calling the helicopter's destruction a tragedy, but not a turning point. Yet his words rang hollow as footage of the burning wreckage spread online. For the Israeli public, who have grown accustomed to seeing their military as nearly invincible, the sight of their helicopter destroyed in Gaza is both shocking and unsettling. Questions are being asked that the government does not yet have answers to. How did Gaza militants acquire such a weapon? Why was the helicopter not better protected? And what does this mean for future operations inside the Strip? Military experts suggest that Israel will respond with overwhelming force. Already, airstrikes have intensified across Gaza, targeting not only the suspected missile launch site but also infrastructure, tunnels, and command centers. The IDF is likely to launch a broader campaign aimed at restoring deterrence, sending the message that any challenge to Israeli air dominance will be met with devastating consequences. But herein lies the danger. Such a campaign risks further escalating the conflict, pulling in other players from across the region. If Hezbollah decides to open a second front in the north, or if Iranian proxies in Syria increase their activity, Israel could find itself fighting on multiple fronts at once. The incident also has international dimensions. Western powers, while generally supportive of Israel's right to self-defense, are increasingly wary of the spiraling violence in Gaza. Images of civilian casualties from retaliatory airstrikes are already appearing in global media, sparking protests and calls for restraint. At the United Nations, emergency meetings are being scheduled, with some nations demanding an investigation into how Gaza militants obtained advanced weaponry. The balance between supporting Israel and preventing a regional war is becoming harder to maintain. Meanwhile, in Gaza, the destruction of the helicopter is being celebrated as a rare moment of triumph. For a population that has endured years of bombardment, blockades, and hardship, the sight of an Israeli military machine falling from the sky is being interpreted as a symbol of resilience. Social media platforms are filled with videos and chants declaring that the skies are no longer safe for the occupier. This psychological impact, both in Gaza and in Israel, may prove to be just as significant as the military impact itself. As analysts dig deeper, many point out that this incident is not an isolated accident, but the culmination of years of buildup. Iran has long sought to arm its allies and proxies with weapons capable of challenging Israel directly. Hezbollah's arsenal in Lebanon is estimated at over 100 rockets, many of them precision-guided. Syria has served as a conduit for weapons transfers, and now Gaza seems to have become the latest theater where advanced technology has found its way into the hands of militants. If this is true, then Israel is facing not just a tactical setback, but a strategic challenge to its security architecture. The coming days will be critical. Israel must decide how far it is willing to go in its response. Will it launch a full-scale ground invasion of Gaza, risking heavy casualties on both sides? Will it escalate its air campaign, hoping to crush any new anti-air capabilities before they can be used again? Or will it seek international mediation to de-escalate the situation, even as its own public demands retribution? Each choice carries risks, and none guarantee that another helicopter, drone, or even jet won't be targeted in the future. Beyond the battlefield, the political consequences are also beginning to take shape. Opposition leaders in Israel are already criticizing the government's handling of the conflict, arguing that intelligence failures allowed such weapons to enter Gaza in the first place. Calls for new elections may grow louder if the crisis continues to spiral. At the same time, Palestinian leaders are capitalizing on the incident, using it to rally support both locally and internationally. The narrative of David striking Goliath resonates deeply, and this event provides a powerful symbol for that story. The global stage is also reacting. Russia and China, often critical of Israel's actions, may seize this moment to increase their influence in the Middle East by offering support to Gaza, or by using the incident to highlight Western hypocrisy. The United States, Israel's strongest ally, will be forced to walk a tightrope, providing military and diplomatic backing while also urging restraint to prevent a wider war. Europe, already divided on its stance toward the conflict, may find itself under pressure from protests at home demanding stronger action to stop the violence. What is clear is that the destruction of this IDF helicopter has pushed the conflict into uncharted territory. It has raised the stakes, challenged old assumptions, and forced both sides to rethink their strategies. For Israel, the question is how to maintain deterrence in an environment where even its air superiority can be contested. For Gaza's militants, the question is how to capitalize on this moment without inviting overwhelming destruction. For the region and the world, the question is how to prevent this single incident from igniting a much larger war. And so, the Middle East stands at a breaking point. One helicopter, one missile, one fiery crash has shifted the trajectory of an entire conflict. What comes next could redefine not just the war in Gaza, but the balance of power across the region for years to come. The smoke still rises from the wreckage, the questions still hang in the air, and the world watches, waiting for the next move in a deadly and uncertain game.